Okay, so this is the flow builder. Left hand side, you can see we have 5 data elements here. Let's understand them one by one. So the first one is create record. As the name suggests, it is used for creating or inserting record into your database, into your objects. Okay, so if you want to insert a record into your object, into any object, you can use create records element. So let's drag it here and see what option it has for us. Okay, so this is the screen that you will see when you will take a create record element on your canvas. First of all, as other elements, it will ask for API name and label. Let's say create account. Okay, we will create an account for it. Make sure you will give a proper label and API name and description as well, so the other user or the other developer or anyone in your organization can really understand why this feature is here, why this element is here. Okay, so let's type this element will insert account to the database. Okay, you can write anything that will be appropriate according to you and according to your colleagues. Okay, now after that, it will ask how many records you want to create. So if the one option is selected, it will ask you for record, because of course only one record will be inserted. But if you will select multiple, then it will ask you a collection of records, that if you have collection of accounts in your flow already, then you can add it here. Okay, so let's click on one for now. And after that, it will ask how to set the record fields. So it has two options for that as well. First is use all values from a record. So suppose if you have a record variable, a single record variable which has a account record values. Okay, so you can choose this option, use all values from the record, and you can just simply add the record variable here. But if you don't have a record variable, or instead you have a form or you have values separately, then you can use second option, which says use separate resources or literal values. So if you have values separately, and if you have like a form which the user will fill up, you will use the text box values of those form to insert an account, then you will choose this. After that, it will ask you the object name in which you want to insert the record. Of course, that is necessary. Okay, but you will see in the first option, use all values from the record, the object name is not necessary. Why? Because there you will add a record variable. A record variable contains the object name with it. Okay, if you will add a record variable, then the create record element has the object name already. You don't have to add it separately. But if you want to add separate values, then you have to identify the object name first. So let's use separate values and identify it first, and add account as object. After that, it will ask you set field value for the account. So basically we are adding the field values separately. So now we will map the fields, like in which field what value we want to insert. Okay, so let's say billing city. So we don't have any form here, so I'll just quickly create a form and then we will get back to this. I will not show you the form creation part because we have already covered it in the screen element video, so you can check it out there. So I'll just create an account creation form and get back to you. Now let's add object name again, and here in the values, let's say in account name, we have a text box and we will add the name value, account name, first name. Okay, after that we have phone. And for phone also we have a text box which is phone, and let's say phone dot value. After that we have billing city. That's it. We just added 3 text boxes and add billing city here, and that is it. Your account record will be created. But as you can see, there's one more option. What is this option is all about? So it says manually assign variable. Now what you can do is, if you just want to create a record, if you just want to create an account with this flow, then you don't have to use this. Okay, but if you have other things to do in this flow as well, and those things are related to this account, like in those things, in those child components, and let's say let's say if you want to create in contact as well for this account. Okay, so in contact, while creating, you will need this account ID as well to relate those contacts to this account. Okay, so if you want the account ID in further of your flow actions, then to store this particular account's ID, you can use this. When you will check this manually assign variable, it will ask you store the account ID in a variable. Okay, so now here you will provide a variable, a simple variable in which the account ID will be stored, so you can use it in like the further actions in this flow that you will apply. Okay, so let's create a variable. Let me just show you how it's done. Account ID and data type will be text. Let's save it. Okay, so now this account will be created and the account ID of this particular account will be saved to this variable. So if you will do any other work in this flow, then you can use this variable to fetch this account or to use this account ID. Okay, let's click on done. And that is it for create record element. If you will connect this and you will save the flow, you will activate the flow. Once you will run it, first of all it will show you a screen to fill, which is this screen, and all the values you fill up in this screen. After clicking on next, the account with the same values will be created to the database. So you have added successfully a create record element. After this flow will run, let me show you what will happen. Let's save it very quickly. Data elements, and we will debug it and check if it is working fine and if an account is created with this or not. Okay, let's run it. So here you can see the screen that we have added. Let's add the first name, and in the last name, let's say we will add Obama. In phone number, let's add, and in billing city, let's add Ajmer, which is my city. Okay, and let's click on next. When we'll click on next, the account will be created into the database and we will check it into our org. Okay, let's click on next. And this is done. Let's go back to our org and check if any account is created or not. Accounts. So here's the account that we have just created. Let's click on it. And let's go to the details. This is the account name, the phone number that we have added, and we have added billing city. Let's click here. And this is the billing city that we have added. That means our flow is working fine, and that is it. That was how simple it is to use create record element, so that without writing any line of code, we can apply DML operations and we can insert data into our Salesforce org. Now let's learn what is update record element. So as the name suggests, create record was for creating records and update record is for updating the existing records. So if there is any record that you want to update, basically same as using the update query, but without writing any line of code, if you want to update a record, you can use update records element. Let's drag it here. And let me show how it works. So here, first of all, it will ask you label and API name, same as the previous elements. Okay. Let's say update account, and description you can add according to your requirement. After that, it asks you how to find records to update and set their values. Okay. So basically, it is asking which record to update, right? And that is a valid question as well. So we have two options. First is use the IDs and all fields values from a record or record collection. So if you have a record or a record collection variable already in your flow, you can just add your record or record collection variable here and it will update that variable. Okay. And second is specify conditions to identify records and set values individually. So first option is this, you have to add the record variable here, and in the second option, let's click it. In the second option, it will ask you like which object this is and what you want to update and all of that. Okay. So if you want to update with a record or record collection variable, you will choose the first option, and if you want to specify conditions according to objects, you will choose second option. Okay. So the first option is very simple. In this, you don't have to do anything. You will just add your record or record collection variable, and you will click on done, and that variable will be updated according to the, like, based on the ID, and it will be updated in the database in the object. So I don't think that needs an explanation, but let me know in the comment section if you want me to explain that as well. I'll do that. But in this example, we will choose this because between the both of this will be the tricky one in my opinion. So in this, we will first select the object we want to update. Let's say we want to update account. After that, it will ask filter account records. Okay, condition requirements to update records. Like, what will be the condition to update an account? Let's say in our case, if we will do like, if account name is Michelle, then make billing city to Delhi. Okay, if we will apply this condition. So what we'll do is, for entering this update record condition, like when the record will be updated, if the account name equals to Michelle. Okay, so if the account name will be Michelle, then set values for the account record. The question is, what do we want to update? Like, which field we want to update? Okay, so let's say we want to update the billing city to Delhi. Okay, so this is our condition. If you want to add another field, like let's say we want to add billing country to India. Okay, so these are the updates that we want to do. Done. And that is it. That is how your update record element will work. Now let's just delete this element and attach this. This screen has no use. We will not fill anything in this screen. We will just click on next to see if the update record is working fine. Let's save it and debug it to check. Run it. And this is of no use. This is just there. So we will just click on next. We want to check the update record. Let's click on next. And it says all done. That means update record element worked fine. Let's go back to our account and refresh it. Okay, let's go to the details now. And let's check if the billing city and country is updated or not. Let's drag it, and yes, billing city and country is updated. Let's edit it. And the billing city is Delhi now, and billing country was blank. Now it says India. Okay, so the update record element is working fine. So that is how easily you can just add some conditions, you can add your values, and you can update any record that you want. So one thing that I want you to know that this is not a best practice to hard code any value in this value field. I have just added it here to quickly show you the example. Guys, it will be a very big episode overall. So what is the best practice? You always add these values in a variable, in a text variable or a record variable respectively, and then you will add the variable name here. So please keep in mind, and that is it. That was update records element. Now let's go back to the data elements and let's read the third element, that is get records element. So what is this element is all about? Get records element used to fetch data from our objects in the Salesforce org. So if you want to get any data, like any list of accounts, list of case, or a single account or case, you will use get records element. Get record element basically finds Salesforce records and store their values to use later in the flow. Okay, so if you remember here in the update records, what was the first option? The first option was use the IDs and all the fields from a record variable, right? So here what you can do is, if you have a get record element and if you have the value in that element, then you can just add the get record element name here and you're good to go. You don't have to add any condition, you don't have to do anything. Okay, so now let's take the get record element and we will use it to fetch all the accounts. Okay, here it will ask you to give the label name and API name. Let's say get accounts, getting all the accounts from object. Okay, So in this get record element, we will get all list of accounts that we have in our Salesforce org. Okay. After that, it will ask you get records of this account. Like you have to give the object name here. From what object you want to fetch the records. Okay. So let's say account. After that, it will ask you if there should be any condition, like if there should be any filter. Let's say if you want to fetch all the accounts with the billing country India, so you will add here billing country equals to India. And other than that, if you have any condition, you can just click here and add your conditions respectively. But we don't want to add any condition. We want to fetch all the accounts. So if you want to fetch all the accounts, you will click none, get all the account records. Okay. After that, it will ask you how you want to sort those accounts. Not sorted, ascending or descending, if you want them to be ascending or descending or not sorted. Okay, let's click ascending. After that, it will ask you how will you sort it by. Like you have provided the sorting order, but sort by what? So let's say sort by name. Okay. After that, it will say how many records to store. Only the first record or all records. So we want all the records. If you will choose the first record, only the first record that will be sorted by name will be stored in this variable. Okay. After that, it asks you how to store record data. Automatically store all the fields, choose fields and let Salesforce do the rest, and choose field or assign to variables. Okay. Automatically record means Salesforce will take all the fields from the database and store it into the record variable. Choose fields and let Salesforce do the rest means you can choose which fields you want to save in this record variable. If you will specify the fields, then only those fields will be available for you to use this use in the further flow actions that you want to perform. Okay. Third option is choose fields and assign variables. If you want to select the fields and assign it to a variable, you can do that as well. To use the returned account records in a flow, store their fields in variables. Select variable to store account records. Okay. So here you can add a record collection variable in which you want to store those values. Okay. But what we want to do is we want to automatically store all the fields because we want all the fields in this record collection variable. That is it. These are all the options in the get record. Let's click on done. And you're good to go. Now in this get record element, you have all the accounts that you have in your Salesforce org. Now let me just show you. Let's delete this. Let's delete this element as well. And let's connect this get record here. Now we will take a screen element and we will just show all the records that we have in this get record element. For displaying the record, we will use the data table element. If you want to know how to use data table, I have a separate video for that. I'll link it down below and I'll link it on the top right corner as well. You can check it out. I'll just do it here quickly so this episode will not be that long. So let's fill the data table details. Let's write accounts. And the label name will be accounts as well. Let's check this checkbox, configure data source. In this, we will add a source collection, and in our case, the source collection is the get record element that we have taken earlier. And here we will take view only. I'll not go into the details because I have a separate video for data table as well. Now I will just configure the column and add a column name here and done. That's it. I think everything's fine. Let's add the screen name, account list, and that is it. Now let's just quickly connect it and I'll show you how we get records from the get record element. Let's save it. Okay, now let's just quickly activate it and add it to our Lightning web page. Let's go here. So I have a Lightning app in which I add all my flow examples, okay, and the name is flow series. So let me just add this example also in that series quickly. So this is the flow series app that I have created. Now let's just edit this and add a flow in this. Let's click on edit page and it will redirect us to the app builder. From here, here you can see we have flows, and let's just drag the flow here. And now on the right hand side, we will add a flow name, which was data element. And that is it. Let's save it and activate it and see our flow in action. Let's click back and let's go back to our app. So here you can see this is our example in which we have added a data table with the heading with the label account, and here we have all the account names that are there in our Salesforce org without any condition. So that is how you can get any record from Salesforce with the get record element. Okay, so that is it for get records element. Now let's go back to the data element section and let's drag and drop delete records here. So as the name suggests, delete record is for deleting records from the database. Okay, here it will first ask label and API name as the other elements. Let's say delete account. Okay, now it will ask you how to find records to delete. It has two options. First, use the IDs stored in a record variable or record collection variable. So if you have a record variable like a single record variable or record collection variable in which you have all the records or all the IDs of the accounts, then you can just simply choose this option, and here you will just provide that record or record collection variable name. Okay. With that, all the accounts that are there in the record collection variable will be deleted from the Salesforce database. Okay. And now second is specify conditions. If you'll check this, first it will ask from which object you want to delete records. Okay. So let's type account here. After that, it will ask how to filter the record. You have to choose some condition. You can't just delete all the accounts from here. Okay, so you have to add one condition. Let's say we will add the billing city equals to what for the billing cities of account. Let's check. Let's delete this account which we have created. Details. What was the city name? City was Delhi. Okay. So for example, let's add where billing city equals to Delhi. And if you have any other condition, you can click on add condition and you can add as many conditions as you want. We just need one condition to delete the Michelle account. Now let's click on done. And here is our delete record element. You don't have to really do much in that. Okay. So now if you will connect it and if you will run it, then the account with the billing city Delhi, if this is the account, then this will delete. If any other account is there with the billing city Delhi, then also that account will be deleted. Okay, so if you want to delete any records from the database from the Salesforce org, you will use delete records element. After that, we have the last element, which is rollback element. So rollback is used for canceling the pending record changes. Okay. For rollback records, let's go back to one flow which I have created already earlier. From that example, you will understand it quickly that what is rollback used for. This is the flow in which we are creating an account and we are creating a contact related to that account as well. Now I will tell you where comes the rollback part. Okay. So this is the flow. In this screen, we are asking the user for account values. After that, we are creating the account. After that, we are creating the contact related to that account. Okay. Now, suppose the user filled the form. After that, the account creation part occurs, which runs successfully. But when it comes to create record element, there is some error in this. Because of the error, the create account will not work, and the create contact will not work, and a contact related to this account will not be created. So now everything is messed up because we have an account, because the creation of account is successful, but we don't have a contact related to that account, right? So here comes the rollback part. What we will do is we will take the rollback records here, and in the rollback transition you don't have to add anything, just add the label and the API name. Let's say rollback records, okay, and just select done. Okay, now we have a rollback record here. Now what we will do is we will create a fault path here. We will connect the create record element to the rollback element. Okay, now what it will do is, if the create record occurs successfully, then it will go to the success screen. That means the account as well as the contact is created successfully. But if the contact has any error, if the contact has any missing field or anything of that sort, which is troubling the creation part, okay, what will happen? It will go to the fault path. In the fault path, because we have added the rollback records element, this create account will be rolled back, and hence there will be no account in the database as well. Okay, so that is why rollback element is used, and this is basically used for the fault path. So if any error occurs, you can just use the rollback element, so the previous task that is done before that error, that can be rolled back successfully. Okay, so that is it. These 5 were the data elements that I wanted you to learn. First was create record element, that is used for creating any record or inserting any record to the database. Second is update record, as the name suggests, it is for updating the records in the database. Get record, it is for retrieving the data from the database. Delete record, if you want to delete a single or a collection of records. And rollback record, if you want to roll back any previous transition, you can do that with rollback records. That is it for today. That was today's episode. In this we have learned about all the data elements. I'll see you in the next episode, but before that I have some notes for you. Just read it, keep it in mind, and practice, practice, and practice. That will make you perfect. I'll see you in the next episode. Till then, bye bye, take care, and keep learning.